And we are live once again. Hello and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum, and welcome back to the Thanksgiving special. All right, as I've already talked about in the introduction to all of this, this is part one, but we're getting underway. Actually, we've been underway for a while now. Lots of prep work. If you know anything about Thanksgiving, you know there's a lot of prep work. Okay, now we have talked about the tuna steaks. We're going to need a marinade. We need an awesome marinade. So what we have here is a half a cup of soy sauce, a half a cup of honey, and a third of a tube of wasabi paste. Now, the recipe where I got this from recommends wasabi powder. That's a little hard to get where we live. On top of that, that's a lot of wasabi, okay? That's some really strong stuff. So that little bit will go a long ways, all right? So let's get our tuna steaks. Let's get this show on the road. And I plan on getting a little bit messy today. So get out my favorite apron, one that Princess Faye made me for last year's winter solstice. All right, down at the very bottom.
Oh, yeah, hit them with the other.
Now, while we're on the subject of doing tuna steaks, let's talk briefly. These are flash frozen tuna steaks, which we got from our friends up there at Farmington Schnooks. Let me say right now, if you live inland, away from the ocean, you are not going to get fresh seafood. It's not going to happen. It's going to come frozen. They might thaw it out and put it on trays and, at the counter. That is all right by me, okay? Because if they were telling me that it's fresh fish, I'd be a little concerned, okay? Just bear that in mind. By the way, when I was buying this, the lady said, now, these aren't fresh. They're frozen. I said, yes, I understand. It's not like Missouri is surrounded by large bodies of water. And she said, you're about the only one who gets that. I want y'all to take that in a moment. Some people kind of should, wow, Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and breach the containment. We're going to get our whisk.
Containment breach, code red.
Exactly. All righty. And we're going to go ahead and remove our first tuna steak. And we're going to drop that right down in there. I'm going to toss this right into the trash directly. And we're just going to continue with this, okay? Now, normally here on the Prince Magnum channel, we don't advocate eating a lot in the way of tuna. And the reason being is tuna is not a sustainable fish. But it is good, and this is a special occasion, so this is going to be one of the rare moments that we go ahead and kind of break with tradition here on the channel. Simply put, because of the fact that this is, it is Thanksgiving. But normally we don't advocate eating a lot in the way of what?
I'll throw your thing away for you.
Thank you. We don't advocate eating certain fishes just because they're not sustainable.
Fish is
Get out of here.
I'm cooking too, man.
Alrighty. So that takes care of that. We're going to go 45 minutes.
Closed all the way. There you go.
You calm down. In 45 minutes, we're going to give this a flip. All right, so the other side gets its marinating, and then we're going to go straight to the charcoal grill after that, or are we?
Sorry.
You'll see soon enough, okay? So that takes care of that. All right. All right. So that's going to go back into the refrigerator, okay?
Into the refrigerator.
All right, now, for the purposes of sanitation, let me go over, wash my hands real quick, because you are dealing with raw meat. So, water, stuff they taught you in kindergarten, folks. All right, So that much is dealt with. All right. Now, the next part of this is we're going to go ahead, we're going to load up our bacon wrapped smokies. The only item on our menu, if you will, that is not seafood, okay?
Except for dessert.
Except for dessert, okay, yes. You know what, folks? I think it's high time we just go ahead and cut to the reveal because I'm having a hard time working here. So, yeah, folks, I look like a normal everyday person. Or sort of, kind of, maybe. I don't know. All right. Let me grab, these just came out of the oven. Now, if you're not familiar with my bacon wrapped smokies, what this is, if you will, these are just little smokies, okay, that you buy at any local grocery store. You wrap them up with strips of bacon. You soak them in some barbecue sauce. And then once you're done, you put them in a cold oven and turn that oven to 420 degrees. When that oven goes off, start your timer for 20 minutes. They'll come out and they'll look just like this, okay? Which is exactly what you want. Then, what you will do is you'll throw them in a little dish like such, all right? You'll throw them in, and then we're going to take more barbecue sauce. We're going to coat them up real good. Let them sit just like that. It's not going to hurt nothing. It's going to be really good, okay? Actually, I thought these were going to be a lot hotter, but they're not. And again, if you don't want to do the extra barbecue sauce, maybe you're not a fan of barbecue sauce, this is just fine, okay? This right here is just fine. It'll taste just as good, all right? And it's a little messy, but hey, you know, some of your best foods are messy, okay? So we're going to get these right in and that sort of thing. Almost lost that one. Which again, real quick, this is an absolute favorite around here and where I work at the Farmington McDonald's over on Karsh. That is an absolute favorite among coworkers. As a matter of fact, last year we were having a cook-off, and kind of a bitter subject, but we were having this awesome cook-off, and everyone felt that these bacon-wrapped smokies should have won. Unfortunately, they didn't, okay? Some guy with some deep-fried Oreos that were just greasy and nasty. Shoot, they were still there about 2-3 days later. Still sitting there. Because nobody wanted to eat that nasty mess. Well, he ended up being given that contest. And the person who was judging the contest wasn't even at work. Just kind of gave it. And it's like a lot of people were upset about it. I was kind of pissed, but you know, this year I have insisted that we have a cook-off again, and I plan on taking it. Lock, stock, and barrel. Person that judged it last year isn't there. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Anyhow, kind of upset me a little bit. You know, it's like you weren't even here. Should leave it up to to people that were here. Okay, so our smokies are right over here. We're gonna dump on our barbecue sauce, and we're gonna coat everything up really good. What type of barbecue sauce? Whatever you like. It really doesn't matter, okay? You just want this stuff to cling to it. Could you make your own? Of course you could. But, you know, for the purposes of time and money and everything, I mean, it's not like, you know... Hang on a second here. You know, it's easier to do it this way in this particular case. I mean, we could have made our own sauce for this, but hey, you know... this is simple enough, okay? It's going to be one of the rare times. I know I always say, you know, when you can make your own sauces, but we've got a ton of other cooking to do along the way. So let's just go ahead, save time where we can. All right? This is one of those times that you'll hear me say, do what you got to do to get it done. All right? Just get it done.
Get it done.
Right. So let's let's go ahead and lid this up, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And you're going to shake this up, okay? You're going to try to get these coated up the best you can. All right, you're not going to get every doggone piece, okay? Perfectly coated, but you're going to try, all right? There we go. I'll take care of that. And there you go. And because of the type of dishes that we used, be real easy to clean afterwards. So there you have that, okay? Very simple, very easy. We're going to lid that back up just like that. All right? Very simple, okay? So we have that now, all right? All right, real quick, while we're on the subject of things that we have done that's a little bit unorthodox here on the Prince Magnum channel, everybody that I pretty well know likes some version of cranberry sauce. I love cranberry sauce. Princess Faye's not a huge fan, but she's a huge fan of blue cheese. So, what I did, I took an old Alton Brown recipe I heard about, and what I did with it is I went ahead and melted down the cranberry sauce and added in some blue cheese, which kind of looks like that. Doesn't look a whole, super great, but it smells terrific, or at least I think it does. Princess Faye might argue, I don't know. We're going to give it a try. So this is something new. Basically, put it on medium-low heat and use that heat to melt down the gelatin that holds the for the cranberry sauce. And then, as it was in a kind of a pretty much liquid state, poured it into the dish, adding blue cheese along the way. Basically, layer blue cheese on the bottom, some cranberry sauce, more blue cheese, cranberry sauce, and just kept going up till we ran out of ingredients, which that's all it is, okay? So pretty nifty. And if you get, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, industrious, you can, put it in different molds and things like that. Make up some pretty cool stuff. So, but to me, this is just fine. We can cut this into nice little squares and dish that out. Nice little side dish, okay? So, all right. Now, the next part of what we're working on, we'll be starting a rice dish soon, but I want to give Princess Faye enough time to do what she's got to do over here, and then I don't want to get in her way too much. She's making a macaroni and cheese, kind of traditional for her family, using Velveeta, some bow ties, and milk.
The bow ties aren't actually the noodles that are normally used. Normally we use the shells.
Normally
I
you guys
prefer the bow ties because it's easier to pick up with chopsticks.
Fair enough. Okay.
Did
While
you
we're
want to show it at all?
well,
Do you want to show it melted? It's fun to watch it melt. Look at it melt. You can see it melt. Look at
there.
it.
We'll just
Look at that melt.
Alrighty. So that takes care of that. Now, while we're also on the subject of prep work, we are expecting a few guests later on today. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to show you this really awesome coffee drink. Now, there are some fast food restaurants that are being kept open for Thanksgiving today. I'm not a fan of this. I don't like this idea. Even though I work in the fast food industry and that sort of thing, I have my thoughts and feelings on this, okay? There's going to be cooking all day long. Why are you going to a fast food joint, okay? And the fact that we keep them open, there are I can understand if it was a firefighter, a police officer, or things like that. Nursing, because I worked nursing for many years, that sort of thing. I can understand those people having to work, and there's tons of other jobs like that. That being said, we need those people, and I want to thank those people. And while we're also on this subject, let's not also forget the people that run the grocery stores and the gas stations. We kind of need them there. You don't really need the fast food, okay? So, real quick, even if you're not celebrating, going to see any family members, friends, whatever, for Thanksgiving, but you still want your caffeine fix, let me show you an awesome trick, okay? What we have made here is this amazing coffee drink, okay? And this is awesome. It takes about 10 cups of coffee, 2 cups of milk, a little bit of ice, and an entire batch of the Prince Magnum Channel's vanilla syrup. Okay, you mix that all together. Put your ice in first, then put your milk in, and then you pour, while still hot. It won't matter in this case. You pour in your syrup, and then once your coffee is made, 10 cups, 12 cups, however much, but 10 to 12 cups depending on your flavor. Mix this all together. It offers a very sweet cold drink, served with a little bit of whipped cream on the top, maybe even some of the Prince Magnum Channel's chocolate syrup, and you've got yourself one heck of a coffee drink. It's sweet. You could serve it to some of your adult guests. I don't recommend kids because of the caffeine. It's not good for them. Unless you want to do a decaf version, that and the amount of sugar. I mean, granted, they're going to be getting a lot of that stuff today. You might not want to go that far with it. But for your adult guest, definitely something easy to do. Or if that doesn't really strike your fancy, you want something a little creamier than that, get yourself some regular, just cheap chocolate ice cream. It doesn't have to be name brand in this case. 1 gallon will do it. And mix it with 12 to 14 cups of hot coffee. And there you go. Chill and serve about an hour later. Absolutely fantastic. You can even pour it over on ice if you'd like. And if you know how to make if that doesn't strike your fancy, get a bunch of ice, throw that in a blender, and you've got yourself something like something you might get from my work. Okay? So, don't bother those people. They shouldn't be working on Thanksgiving.
Galaxy, Tabor.
All right. Now that we've established that, to go along with some of our stuff that we're going to be doing today, I had to prep up some K-crab, okay, imitation crab meat. You can use regular if you'd like. That's completely up to you. Around here, we don't mind K-crab. We actually like it. And it's just basically a form of fish that's aquafarmed, more or less.
It's a white fish that's been colored to look like crab meat.
Thank you.
Yep.
This one has some crab meat mixed in. It's perfectly fine. I basically, however much you think, okay? Adjust to your flavor. We'll be making up a brown rice dish that has that, plus some lightly cooked onions and some different bell peppers, okay? We're just going to do a light saute there. Might even throw in a couple cloves of garlic. You'll all see how that works a little bit later on. Okay? We'll get to that soon enough. Basically, I have a hard time remembering how to do the brown rice, so I got to go back in my head a little bit. That and there's a little bit of prep work with that. Remember, folks, today is all about what you did beforehand. A little bit of prep work goes a long ways. So, spend the time, get it done, and of course, you'll be amazed. You will be amazed how easy this works out. Now, right now, Princess Faye, to go along with our seafood thing, the macaroni and cheese will, believe it or not, have tuna in it. Canned tuna, albacore. By the way, the tuna steaks that we'll be doing up here just shortly, those are yellowfin. Okay, yellowfin. All right. Could you use anything else? Yeah. But I don't... Just remember, it's hard to get tuna steaks in albacore, albacore tuna steaks, because most of the albacore tuna that we get in this country goes directly to canning, okay? It's a real bulletproof, fish, as far as tuna goes, and it's perfect for canning. So, surprise, surprise. All right? So, the cats will also be getting their own canned tuna today because, well, why not?
We wanted to show them.
Well, they'll get in the shot later. Right now, they're actually drinking some tuna water. They love that stuff, okay?
Yes.
They enjoy it. They'll drink that up. That's one of their favorite dishes.
Yep.
All righty. So, we've already got 1, 2, 3 dishes done. Several more in the making. We're going to go ahead and take a short break, and here in a little bit, we're going to be back, and we're going to be starting to bounce stuff in the ovens, even more, okay? So, Look for the next one here in just a little bit if you can join us. If not, enjoy us on the playback. So, again, happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there. And if you're shocked to see me without my shades, we'll talk more about that again a little bit later. Right now, the main focus is for all of you to get to join us for Thanksgiving this year. All right. As usual, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, usual stuff like that. All right. As usual, get out there and work on a project. Don't care what it is. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet. Do something special for them this Thanksgiving. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told you that they love you, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.